we owe right now 400% of GDP. Now, put that on your family scale. If you owed 4 times what you can earn in a year, and you owned nothing to back it, it's not like you went out and borrowed to buy an incredibly productive business or a large piece of real estate that has tenant income being generated. None of that. This is just money that's been taken in for current consumption. They pay the money out Social Security, they pay doctors and nurses on Medicaid and Medicare, but there's no roads and bridges being built. There's nothing being generated for the future that can create future service potential and future cash flows to the government. That's the problem. That's bad debt. Good debt is the kind of debt you take on to buy an important piece of equipment for a business so that you can generate more cash flow to pay it back and then make profits and pay taxes on those profits and pay your employees ever more money. That's called productive. Our debt is completely unproductive. So when someone like Nancy Pelosi used to say, oh, every dollar of debt we take on improves the economy. Well, she's reading from 1968 or 1948. When we took on $1 of debt in the early 50s, it actually grew the economy by $6 to $7. Currently, for every new dollar of debt we take on, we only get 50 cents of economic growth. So that's a negative benefit. And that's where we are. So now, how is this related to energy? Well, energy is the most important concept in the world. And it's the most important concept that will ever exist in the world. Because without energy, nothing happens. The only way to ever pay off the debt, or even begin to pay the interest on the debt without defaulting on it one way or the other, is to improve productivity. And the only way to improve productivity, meaning squeezing more juice out of the same bunch of grapes, getting each hour you pay your employees more productive so that you can generate more profits, pay taxes, give increases in pay to your employees. The only way to do that is to increase productivity. But productivity in the United States is declining. So we have debt growing, productivity declining, and we have inflation, which has been filling in the gap. That's where inflation comes from. It's the gap between productivity increase and the rest. So if we don't want inflation to fill in the gap, we have to figure out how to increase the amount of energy and the affordability of energy. Those are the two things that must happen in order for us to begin to undo the debt pile and not have our children and grandchildren essentially be debt slaves to the holders of the debt.
But undoing the debt pile also involves Washington not spending as much.
Of course. Now, the difference between not spending, if you're spending on the right things, and those things result in higher tax revenues, then that spending is okay. That's good spending. And if you're taking on debt to do it, that's okay. Like we said earlier, if you're buying an important piece of equipment for your business and it's going to make your working people more productive, then you buy that, you borrow that money and you buy that piece of equipment. But we're not doing that. So when we say lower spending, yeah, we destroy ourselves with military spending, because what are we doing? We're creating bombs to blow up, or hopefully we'll never have to use them. But once it's in a new nuclear weapon or in a new battleship that we never use, then we're not getting any benefit from that. Now, some would argue, well, the world's at peace, but nobody else is contributing to our costs. You know, Europe doesn't contribute to our costs. We put our umbrella over them.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.